Hey, what's up? Cody here. Proverbs 17, verse 10 says, "Rebuke is more effective for a wise man than 100 blows on a fool." It's kind of extreme language. It's a bit over the top. And that's exactly the point of this piece of scripture here, that it's supposed to feel exaggerated and completely over the top in terms of how it reads. Essentially, it is saying that you can beat a fool to death over and over again, and they'll learn nothing. But there are those who are wise, and the wise person is able to learn from a simple rebuke. There's a contrast that's being stated in here, and Proverbs is full of this kind of a contrast with wisdom and foolishness, and it's calling us into a people of wisdom. And what that is as God shows us something, wisdom says, I'm going to abandon my foolishness, let go of those things that I think are right in favor of those things that God thinks are right. And in this idea, I think it's interesting to say that rebuke is more effective. This concept of rebuke being effective is an interesting idea. A rebuke is something that can be a very difficult thing that is said. It carries with it the tone of coming across kind of harshly. In that, usually a rebuke isn't something that you think, man, I'm so glad that you just rebuked me. It's not something that you would say, oh, I'm so thankful for such a thing. It's something that's really going to be difficult, and it's going to be words that you're not going to like. It's going to be stuff that's said that you didn't particularly enjoy. It might even be things that hurt your feelings and make you not feel excited and happy about life. And we've got to be careful not to surround ourselves with people who are just going to tell us the nice things, who are just going to say the happy things. That there's got to be people in our lives who are willing to bring a rebuke in. And what this proverb is telling us here in chapter 17 is that a lot of it has to do with your heart, your willingness to receive what God is going to give you. So I want to ask you that question. Are you willing to receive a rebuke? Or just because it doesn't sound nice and it doesn't make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, are you just going to wholeheartedly reject what's being said to you? Second thing that I would ask you about this is, who are you willing to receive this from? What this is talking about is a teachable spirit. Do you have a teachable spirit? Are you willing to be led? Are you willing to have someone say something to you that you may not have enjoyed and may come across as a little bit difficult, or maybe they're just mean, or maybe they just don't like me, or whatever that happens to feel like? Are you willing to learn? You see, a true learner can learn from anybody. They don't need someone who's over them in status in order to be able to submit to and learn from them. Some people fall into that category. They just won't learn from someone unless they feel like the other person is so far ahead of them that they fall into some sort of subcategory below. We've got to be a people who are willing to learn. And if you're willing to learn, you can literally learn from anybody. And so I want to challenge you with that thought. Are you willing to learn? Because those who have that humble heart and are seeking out wisdom, that rebuke can come from a lot of different places. The last thing I'll tell you is that God's put some people in your life who are there on purpose for the reason of growing, stretching, developing you. And it's going to be a difficult relationship because as they stretch and grow your relationship with the Lord, it's going to put a strain on your relationship with them. So I just want to encourage you to be gracious toward them. Here's what Hebrews says. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 17 says this: "Obey those who rule over you and be submissive, for they watch out for your souls as those who must give account. Let them do so with joy and not with grief, for that would be unprofitable for you." I just want to encourage you in that, just to say, listen, God has put some people in your life as a spiritual authority in your life. And this is carrying back to and hearkening back to the concept of that pastoral role, that some people are going to play in your life. And I want to encourage you to be a joy to them. Allow them to fulfill the ministry that God has given them in your life with joy. And they don't want to bring this kind of rebuke to you. They don't even want to say it. But they feel so burdened by the Lord that they have to say something. And so even if they say it the wrong way, even if they didn't mean to come across that way, take what you can. How can you learn, even if it didn't sound the way that made you feel warm and fuzzy inside? So God bless you today. I pray that you grow in your relationship with and walk with the Lord, and that He speaks to you through His Word.